You're doing everything right. You're showing up, you're putting in the time, you're getting your cardio in, and yet the scale isn't moving. Your energy is flat, and somehow you feel like you're working harder than ever for less and less. If that sounds familiar, you're not imagining it, and you're definitely not lazy. Something real is happening inside your body, and once you understand it, the whole picture changes. Here's what this video is about. Around 40, the way your body responds to cardio starts to shift in a way that almost nobody talks about. The standard advice, walk more, run more, do more, stops working the way it used to. And the reason isn't willpower or effort, it's biology. We're going to break down exactly what's happening, why your go-to workouts are producing less than they used to, and what to do instead. By the end of this, you'll have a completely different understanding of how to train in this season of your life. And the last piece is the one most women never hear. So stay with me. First, let's talk about what's actually changing. After 40, many women begin moving through perimenopause, when estrogen levels start to fluctuate and eventually decline. Now, most people think of estrogen as a reproductive hormone, something that affects your cycle and not much else. But that's a massive underestimation of what estrogen actually does. Estrogen is involved in inflammation, muscle maintenance, bone health, and how the body responds to stress. So when it starts to drop, the effects show up everywhere, including in how your muscles perform during exercise. Here's the part that matters most for your workouts. Your muscles are made up of different fiber types. You've got slow twitch fibers, which are built for endurance. Think long walks, easy cycling, steady jogging, and then you've got fast twitch fibers, which are your power fibers, built for explosive, high-effort movements. Those fast twitch fibers are also your primary glycolytic fibers, meaning they're the ones that burn carbohydrates for fuel during intense effort. Decreasing estrogen is associated with loss of type 2 muscle fibers and subsequently decreased power. And research has shown that prolonged estrogen insufficiency shifted fiber types toward faster myosin heavy chain isoforms. But without the hormonal support to maintain them, those fibers start to weaken and shrink. This is the glycolytic drop-off. Your body's ability to efficiently burn carbohydrates and generate energy from high-effort work quietly declines. So when you go for that hour-long run or that steady cardio session, you're working a system that's becoming less and less efficient. You're burning fewer calories than you used to from the same workout. You're producing less metabolic output, and you feel more tired afterward. Not because you're out of shape, but because your muscle machinery has genuinely changed. Research shows that women can lose up to 3 to 5% of muscle mass per decade after 30, and this loss accelerates during perimenopause when estrogen begins to decline. And women have a reduction of 0.6% in muscle mass per year after menopause. That's not a small number. That's a slow, steady erosion of the very tissue that drives your metabolism, burns your fuel, and keeps your body strong. So if steady cardio is working with a weakened system, the question becomes, what actually works with your biology instead of against it? The second biggest shift you can make is adding short, high-intensity intervals to your routine. And before you click away thinking this isn't for you, hear me out, because this isn't about sprinting until you collapse. Sprint intervals, whether on a track, treadmill, or even a rowing machine, can be game-changing for women in midlife. Short bursts of high-intensity exercise, we're talking 30 seconds, with full recovery periods in between, can help build lean muscle and improve glucose regulation. That last part matters a lot, because as estrogen drops, estrogen's decline affects fat storage, insulin sensitivity, energy levels, recovery, and muscle maintenance. Intervals directly target insulin sensitivity, which means your body gets better at using the fuel you give it rather than storing it. The reason intervals work so well here is that they specifically recruit those fast-twitch glycolytic fibers, the exact ones that are declining. You're essentially sending a signal to your body that those fibers are still needed. You're waking them back up, and because the bursts are short, you're not flooding your system with the kind of sustained cortisol that long cardio sessions can produce. A workout that once felt energizing may suddenly feel harder to recover from. High-intensity sessions may leave you more drained than they used to. That's why the key is short bursts with real rest, not grinding through hour-long sessions that leave you depleted for days. Now, here's something worth noting before we get to the most important piece. If you've been following along and you're thinking, okay, so I should just do more intervals and less cardio. That's getting warmer, but there's still a layer underneath all of this that most people never address. The thing that actually anchors the whole system. I'll get there in a second, but first, if this is the kind of content that's making things click for you, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And drop a comment below telling me what your current workout routine looks like. Seriously, I read every single one, and it helps me know exactly what to cover next. The algorithm loves it too, so it's a win all around. Okay, now for the most important piece, and this is the one that changes everything. Heavy strength training, not light weights for high reps, not resistance bands for toning, actually challenging, progressive, heavy lifting. Lifting heavy is key to building muscle, improving bone density, and boosting metabolism, especially for women in their 40s and beyond. And the research on this is not subtle. Here's why it works on a deeper level. Every pound of muscle you carry raises your resting metabolic rate, meaning you burn more calories just existing. Resistance training improves body composition by reducing fat mass, increasing lean muscle, and elevating resting metabolic rate, contributing to weight management even without substantial changes in total body weight. So you don't have to be in constant motion to be burning. You build the engine, and the engine runs. There's also the afterburn effect. Strength training creates an afterburn effect, increasing metabolism for up to 72 hours after your workout. Compare that to a 45-minute cardio session, where your metabolism returns to baseline within an hour or two. The math just doesn't favor cardio anymore, not at this stage of life. And then there's the bone piece, which honestly doesn't get talked about enough. After menopause, women can lose bone density at an accelerated rate due to declining estrogen levels, which increases the risk of osteopenia, osteoporosis, fractures, and loss of mobility later in life. But strength training and progressive overload are among the most effective tools for helping maintain bone strength. Every time you challenge your muscles against resistance, you also place healthy stress on your bones, and the body adapts by helping maintain and strengthen bone tissue. And here's where it gets really interesting. This is the piece I promised you at the start. Resistance training is effective in counteracting the age and menopause-related loss of muscle mass and strength in middle-aged women aged 40 to 60. But the type of lifting matters. It is generally acknowledged that resistance training with heavier weights in lower repetition sets tends to increase muscular power more effectively than training with lighter weights in higher repetition sets. That's the key distinction. Going heavier within your ability, safely, progressively, is what actually signals your body to hold on to those fast-twitch fibers. It's what directly counteracts the glycolytic drop-off. You're not just burning calories during the workout. You're rebuilding the machinery that determines how many calories you burn all day, every day. A 2024 study found that women whose strength train 2 to 3 days a week are more likely to live longer and have a lower risk of death from heart disease compared to women who do none. 2 to 3 days a week. That's it. More recent research confirms women get excellent results with moderate to heavy weights in the 6 to 12 rep range done 2 to 3 times per week. This isn't a massive time commitment, it's a strategic one. And there's one more benefit that almost nobody mentions. Strength training helps balance hormones by reducing cortisol levels, balancing estrogen and progesterone, and increasing growth hormone and testosterone. So you're not just working around the hormonal shift, you're actually helping to soften it. Put together, you'll likely feel fewer mood swings, sleep better, and have more energy to work out when you plan to. So let's bring this all together, because here's what actually changed in this video. You started here knowing that cardio wasn't working the way it used to. Maybe you thought you just needed to push harder or do more. But now you know the real reason. Estrogen decline quietly reduces the efficiency of your glycolytic muscle fibers, which means long cardio sessions are producing less than they used to at a biological level. It's not effort, it's physiology. The fix isn't to quit cardio entirely. Cardio still matters for your heart and your mood, but the real work now is short, high-intensity intervals to wake up those fast-twitch fibers and restore insulin sensitivity, combined with heavy, progressive strength training to rebuild the metabolic engine that estrogen used to help maintain. 2 to 3 sessions a week of real lifting. That's the shift. This is a predictable transition, not a cliff, and how you respond changes the outcome. That's the most important sentence in this whole video. Your body isn't broken. It just needs a different signal now. If you want to go deeper on exactly how to structure those strength sessions for this stage of life, the specific rep ranges, the exercises that matter most, and how to progress without getting hurt, that video is right here, and it picks up exactly where this one left off. Go watch it now while this is still fresh,